In the 10th century BCE, Mizpah was built up by Judean King Asa with materials from Ramah, a city that Israelite King Baasha had been forced to desert. 1 Kai 15. 20-22. 2 Ch 16. 4-6 Some 3 centuries later, in 607 BCE, the victorious Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar appointed Gedaliah as governor over the Jews remaining in the land of Judah. Gedaliah administered affairs from Mizpah. There the prophet Jeremiah took up residence. Also, surviving army chiefs and other Jews who had been scattered came to Mizpah. Governor Gedaliah, although having been forewarned, failed to exercise caution and was assassinated at Mizpah. Chaldeans and Jews with him there were likewise slaughtered. Thereafter 70 visiting men also met their death. The band of assassins, led by Ishmael the son of Nethaniah, took the rest of the people captive. Overtaken by Johanan the son of Kareah, Ishmael escaped with 8 men, but the captives were rescued, later to be taken to Egypt. 2 Kai 25. 23-26. J 40. 5. 41. 18. Following the Babylonian exile, men of Mizpah and the princes Shalon and Ezer shared in repairing the wall of Jerusalem. Eni 3. 7, 15, 19. 4. A city of the Jordan in Gilead JG 10. 17. 11. 11, 29, perhaps the same place as the Mizpah mentioned at Hosea 5. 1. Mizpah was the home of Jephthah. JG 11. 34 Some propose a location at Ornik, but Gilad, about 23 kilometers 14 mi and W of Rabba Aman. But its exact location is uncertain. 5. A city of Moab where David, while outlawed by King Saul, settled his parents. 1 Sir 22. 3 Mizpah's precise location cannot be established definitely. Some scholars believe it may be the same place as Kiev Moab. Issa 15. While others have suggested Rusmelm's Crif situated WSW of Madaba ancient Mdeba as an identification. Mizraim Mizare Middle.im. Listed second among the sons of Ham. GE 10. 6 Mizraim was the progenitor of the Egyptian tribes as well as some non-Egyptian tribes, and the name came to be synonymous with Egypt. GE 10. 13, 14. 50. 11 Thus, the word Egypt in English translations actually renders the Hebrew mitzmiddle.raim or ma-middle.zor in a few cases. 2 Kai 19. 24. Issa 19. 6. 37. 25. Mix 7. 12. In the Amarna tablets, written in Akkadian, the Canaanites refer to Egypt as Mishri, similar to the modern Arabic name for the land Misr. Many scholars hold that Mizraim is a dual form representing the duality of Egypt, that is, Upper and Lower Egypt, but this is conjectural. See Egypt, Egyptian. The names of Mizraim's descendants are apparently plural forms. Ludim, Anamim, Lhabim, Naphtahim, Pathruzim, Kazlahim, and Kaphtarim. GE 10. 13, 14. 1 Ch 1. 11, 12 For this reason it is usually suggested that they represent the names of tribes rather than individual sons. Although this is possible, it should be noted that there are other names that appear to be dual or plural in their construction, such as Ephraim, Apaim, and Deblaim GE 41. 52. 1 Ch 2. 30, 31. Ho 1. 3, each obviously referring to only one individual. Misa Mizah. A sheik of Edom. The descendant of Esau through Ruel. GE 36. 17. 1 Ch 1. 34-37 Mizah was Esau's grandson, as he is included among the sons or grandsons of Basemath, Esau's wife, who was Ishmael's daughter and the mother of Ruel. GE 36. 2, 3, 10, 13. Nasino textoi acute miritra longo, Moab 419 Valley of Zad in the east, the torrent Valley of Arnon in the distance of some 50 kilometers 30 mi, the Dead Sea forming the W boundary and the Arabian Desert an undefined E boundary. New 21. 11-13. The 2. 8, 9, 13, 18, 19 Rising sharply from the Dead Sea, this region is chiefly a tableland slashed by gorges and has an average elevation of some 900 meters 3,000 feet above the Mediterranean Sea. In ancient times it afforded pasture for vast flocks to Kai 3. 4 and supported vineyards and orchards. Compare Issa 16. 6-10. J 48. 32, 33. Grain was also cultivated. Compare to 23. 3, 4. There was an earlier period when the land of Moab extended end of the Arnon and included the desert plains of Moab across the Jordan from Jericho. New 22. 1 But sometime before the arrival of the Israelites, Amorite king Sihon annexed this region, and the Arnon came to be Moab's end boundary. New 21. 26-30. JG 11. 15-18 The Ammonites also suffered defeat at the hands of Sihon and were pushed to the north and east. The territory conquered from both peoples by the Amorites formed a wedge between Moab and Ammon, and thus Moab came to be bounded by Amorite territory on the north and Edomite territory on the south. JG 11. 13, 21, 22. Compare to 8, 9, 13, 14, 18. At its greatest extent the territory of Moab was approximately 100 kilometers 60 mi from N to S and 40 kilometers 25 mi from E to W. Probably, because a part of Amorite territory had once belonged to Moab, it continued to be called the land of Moab. 1. 5 It was in this former Moabite territory that the Israelites encamped before crossing the Jordan. New 31. 12. 33. 48-51 There a second census was taken of Israel's able-bodied men from 20 years old upward. New 26. 2-4, 63 Also their divine commands and judicial decisions were received about Levite cities, cities of refuge, and inheritance. New 35. 1. 36. 13th There Moses delivered his final discourses and concluded with Israel a covenant urging faithfulness to Jehovah. 1. 1-5. 29. 1 Finally Moses ascended Mount Nebo to view the promised land and then died. For 30 days on the desert plains of Moab, Israel mourned Moses' death. 32. 49, 50. 34. 1-6, 8. Moab's relationship to Israel. As descendants of Abraham's nephew Lot, the Moabites were related to the Israelites. The languages of both peoples were very similar, as is seen from the inscription on the Moabite stone. Also, like the Israelites, the Moabites appear to have practiced circumcision. 9. 25, 26 Nevertheless, with few exceptions, such as Ruth and King David's mighty man Ithmaru 1. 4, 16, 17. 1 Ch 11. 26, 46, the Moabites manifested great enmity toward Israel. Before Israel's entry into the Promised Land. The Song of Moses about Jehovah's destroying Egypt's military might in the Red Sea indicated that news of this event would cause the despots of Moab to tremble. X 15. 14, 15 That the Moabites did become fearful is indicated by their kings denying Israel peaceful passage through his realm about 40 years later. JG 11. 17 Because of a direct command from God, the Israelites, however, did not attack the Moabites, but upon coming to Moab's southern boundary at the torrent valley of Zid, they skirted the territory of Moab. New 21. 11-13. 2. 8, 9. JG 11. 18 Although the Moabites did sell food and water to the Israelites at 2. 26-29, they did not come to Israel's aid with bread and water. 23. 3, 4 Evidently this means that the Moabites did not receive them hospitably and supply provisions without seeking gain. Later, after crossing the torrent valley of Arnon, Israel was confronted by the Amorites under King Sihon, who had earlier seized Moabite territory and of the Arnon. Following their God-given victories over this ruler and also King Og of Bashan, the Israelites encamped on the desert plains of Moab. New 21. 13, 21. 22. 1. 2. 24. 3. 8. The extensive Israelite camp frightened the Moabites and their king Balak. O textoi acute miritra longo. Moab 420 expanded their territory in of the Arnon and, in the reign of their king Eglon, occupied Israelite territory W of the Jordan at least as far as the city of palm trees, Jericho. JG 3. 12, 13. Compared to 34. 3. Israel's subservience to Moab continued for 18 years until Ehud, a left-handed Benjamite, killed King Eglon while having a private audience with him. Ehud then led the Israelites against Moab, striking down about 10,000 Moabites and subduing them. JG 3. 14-30. In this general period, when famine affected Judah, Elimelech, with his wife Naomi and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, emigrated to the more fertile land of Moab. There the sons married Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah. After the death of the 3 men in Moab and improvement of conditions in Israel, Naomi, accompanied by Ruth, returned to Bethlehem. There Boaz, a kinsman of Elimelech, married Ruth, who had abandoned the polytheism of the Moabites and had become a worshipper of Jehovah. Thus Ruth, a Moabitess, became an ancestress of David and therefore also of Jesus Christ. Ru 1. 1-6, 15-17, 22. 4. 13, 17. Also in the time of the judges, Israel began venerating the deities of the Moabites, doubtless including their god Chemosh. JG 10. 6. New 21. 29. J 48. 46. For adopting such false worship of neighboring peoples, the Israelites lost Jehovah's favor and suffered at the hands of their enemies. JG 10. 7-10. As late as the time of Samuel, unfaithful Israel